What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Apologies for the lack of news content the last couple of days. I was out of town. I was supposed to return on Sunday, which I did, but everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. So I went to the edge of my country, like 237 kilometers away. But on the trip back home, I got a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, and it was completely my fault. I didn't take the necessary precautions. I had no spare tire. I had no way to lift up the car. I had no tools. I had no spare battery. I had nothing with me. Oh yeah, by the way, because the road had so many potholes, something happened to my alternator or my battery. So after I turned off the car to check out what I could do to fix the tire, when I went back to turn on the car, it wouldn't start either. So I was completely just stuck out there. And to make things even worse, I was with my mom, who was like 199 years old, and my son in the scorching sun of 35 degrees Celsius. So yeah, not the best couple of days, but I am back and I did want to cover some news because there were some interesting stuff going on. I did manage to test out the test server real quick. I had a public test server on a USB stick, and when I got access to a PC, I was able to record a little bit of the test server to check out some of the new blueprint UI changes. Oh yeah, and this build right here, I think the disastrous might be back. This build is extremely good, but that's for a future video. Alright, let's first cover the small update, because after I made my Fat Man video, they did end up nerfing some of the cannons. For the Avenger cannon, previously their damage was increased by 71%, I believe, and for the judges around 50 something. But now their damage got slightly reduced. They fixed the bug that caused the perk of the Young Wang and the Clarinet Toe not to be displayed. I talked about that on stream as well. They fixed the issue with the oppressor engine. I remember in some of my videos I was mentioning like, what's going on? Why are there so many Fat Man builds? That's because there was a bug where the reload time was not 6 seconds, but it was still 4.3 seconds. And then with the damage boost on top of that and the Hadron cabin's faster reload and the perk of the Fat Man cannon itself, it made Fat Man's extremely devastating. So yeah, this was just a small update from last week. And then this week we got our first dev block for the next season. The next season is gonna be a Syndicate faction themed season again. And they already showed off a new legendary light cabin, the Satori, which looks very similar to the Janami cabin, and it will also have a very similar perk, but of course a little bit better. Not only does this cabin give you more damage while drifting, I wish it was something else than damage, but okay. But with this cabin, you get additional bonus to damage for prolonged continuous drifting. There's not a maximum number attached to it, so we'll have to see how much damage we can get in total. They also announced a new legendary engine, the Oyabun, and it's very similar to the Hot Rat, to where it does not require any energy, which is pretty awesome. And they mentioned the mechanics are also related to reverse acceleration, but the perk is only triggered under certain conditions. It will allow you to quickly recover after an unfortunate encounter with any obstacle. So if I understand this correctly, let's say you bump into maybe even teammates, you bump into a teammate, you bump into a wall, you know, that happens from time to time. You will be able to quickly reverse and then just go on with your route. Is that it? That's kind of a silly perk, but okay. And then they also showed us a couple of structural parts. This is like a new Syndicate bumper. It looks very similar to the ones we already got, but slightly different. The next bit of news I want to cover is the planned changes to clan activities. The devs mentioned that they've been running a few experiments to see what works best for the players. And they mentioned the most suitable option is to once in a few weeks, they'll have the Battle for Uranium, which is held with individual elo rating system with one challenge for a certain range of PS. They plan to periodically change PS brackets to make battles more diverse. So in the past we had 10k PS limit and 13k PS limit, so maybe now they might even do 6k, 7k, 8k, maybe even 15k and 20k, which sounds like an interesting change to me. And the first thing that came to mind is like, what about our blueprint slots? But we'll get to that in a minute, because they sorta kinda gave us a solution for that. Not really. The second change they plan to do is very interesting. Periodically include armored aircraft and battle walkers in the mode for Battle for Uranium. That's gonna be wild. For example, 1 week there will be no walkers or aircraft. The next week we'll add aircraft only. The third week we'll add walkers only. And the last week we'll add both. That's actually kind of cool. I was hoping to see something like this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, because I know some of you guys don't like the helicopter stuff. Some of you guys guys don't like the mech stuff and only the ground build, so I personally think it's a good change. And the last part they mentioned periodically include additional modifiers for certain types of parts, for example the rotors and the robotic legs. So I'm assuming like the new next step game mode where everything has a little bit more power. Not really a fan of that because it makes things feel a little bit inconsistent, because in normal PvP your build's gonna feel a normal way and then in the Uranium Wars it's gonna feel different. I personally don't like that change. They mentioned that during the Battle for Uranium, Clan Wars will not be disabled, but it will replace the Clan Confrontation game mode while it's active. They also mentioned that we want to add a leaderboard based on the individual ELO rating instead of the clan rating to improve the experience of players in clan activities and the balancing. The overall clan rating will be formed on the basis of the personal ratings of active players. The new leaderboard will function similarly to the leaderboard in the Battle for Uranium. And they asked, what do you guys think about the introduction of the new leaderboard with individual rating to Clan Wars? And how do you feel about the modifiers for Battle for Uranium? I'm not an active Clan War player, so I'm gonna have to ask you guys for feedback in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about the individual rating system and the modifiers for Battle for Uranium? I'm personally not a big fan of the modifiers. It makes things feel inconsistent and weird, and I don't like that. If my build in normal PvP feels a certain way, I want them to feel like that in every single game mode and not have them feel different in a separate game mode. It throws me off. At least for me it does. So yeah, that was it for the planned changes for clan activities. And the last bit of news I wanted to share with you guys is the new blueprint tab. I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard or seen everything about this, but I hate it. I personally don't like it. Yes, they gave us a solution to a problem they created, but check this out. I can't show you. I just recorded something live. I wasn't able to record with my voice, but basically they increased the blueprint storage from 32 to 50 slots. Yay! But guess what? You still need to buy all the remaining slots. Like, let's say you max out at 32 right now, you still need to buy all the other levels to level 50. And guess what? It's still the same disgusting price. The price for one level is basically the price of a legendary weapon. I've always found that one of the most stupid and most expensive things to do in the game. Like, even for me, a content creator, my promo account has everything maxed out, sure, but my personal account, I think I'm at like 27 slots right now, and I've only been able to do it because of the latest battle passes and event passes and the special event where we get extra blueprint slots. I stopped at the moment it would cost me 5 blueprint storage expansions for one blueprint slot. I mean, if it was one blueprint source expansion module for one slot, I mean, that was awesome. If they made that change, everybody would be kissing the developers their feet right now. But nope. It is still super duper expensive AF. Also, there's a whole bunch of issues with this new UI as well. Maybe not really for regular players, but for content creators, it is a little bit annoying. One of the biggest issues I ran into is, let's say I had a build from Corey Mentor, right? If he was using upgraded parts and I did not have those same fusions, I cannot assemble his vehicle. I can download it, I can show it on the main screen, like have it selected, but it will be shown with all the missing parts. I would have to manually go in and see what parts were missing and replace them with replacements that I already have in my storage, which is extremely stupid. Previously, if I saw a cool build, it would tell me you're missing these parts, but you do have replacements. Do you want to auto assembly? Yes. And it did everything for you. Now you cannot do that anymore, and it is really stupid. That was one of the big issues. Also, right now, when you look at the blueprint, it has this weird background thingy, which kind of sucks for content creators, because in the past, I could just look at a build, it would show up in my gross, and then I could press Alt and F2 and go in NVIDIA Ansel and just make a cool screenshot. That's not really an issue for most people, but for content creators, kind of sucks now. The third thing I didn't like is I hate that it automatically overwrites the build that you have already saved. Let's say I have a build saved with a cool rocket launcher, but I wanted to try out a different setup. They did mention that this would happen, and if you want to do that, you would have to make a duplicate and then experiment on that vehicle. I think that is so stupid. Like, all these changes are stupid. All they needed to do was increase the storage limit of the blueprints and make one slot cost one expansion storage part thingy. That's it. That's all they needed to do. They went with a whole retarded rework for no reason that nobody asked for. It doesn't improve anything. It does nothing. The loading times of the blueprints are still the same. They just made everything more complicated, more stupid, and all we needed was more slots and make it cheaper for us. That's it. More slots, cheaper. More slots, cheaper. That's it, devs. More slots, cheaper. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of all these changes, because I think they're all stupid. They all suck. The whole blueprint UI is just retarded in my opinion. They did add an interesting feature that you can lock your blueprints now so you don't accidentally overwrite it or delete it. But guess what? Anytime you just want to modify the build, you have to unlock it and then do the things and then lock it again. It is annoying. I messed around with it. It is annoying. And just like the other changes, the blueprint slot UI that we have right now is already good. If you gave us the lock feature, because right now, if you move too fast, you can accidentally overwrite a build you have already saved, which is annoying. But if you could make it that we can lock it, that would no longer happen. And if we could lock it, but still work on it, but not overwrite that slot, that would also be perfect. Those small changes, I don't know. It hurts my brain to think like, who the hell is coming up with these changes? Why are they not consulting us? I mean, they are kind of trying with this mass testing and they'll listen to our feedback. Maybe it's just my point. I haven't seen any other takes from anybody, but I don't like these changes. All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Just a recap of all the news I missed to share with you guys. Let me know what you guys think of all these changes in the comment section down below. I do want to have a discussion. If you agree with my takes of the blueprint storage slots, all I want personally is cheaper and more slots, and give us a log icon. That would also be nice. That is it. Also, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the clan changes and the next upcoming event pass. It could be another mech related event pass. I have a suspicion it will be, because they teased it last season that the Syndicate will also have access to bipedal legs. So I'm thinking we're gonna get some new legs. We already got a new light cabin. The weapons are going to be interesting because the Syndicate always comes with some pretty busted weapons like the Raijin and the Kaiju, but we'll have to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I hope I earned a like and a subscription to the channel. If you guys want to see more, you can click one of these two videos over here, and I'll see you there in a minute. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace!